and welcome back to the channel. So today I wanted to talk about this article from BuzzFeed that actually uncovered some interesting things about this Chinese smartphone company. So this company, Tecno, had pre-installed a malware onto all their smartphones that are for the African market and some other markets that are low-cost phones essentially. And what this malware did was not only did it use up most of their data, so they would have to repurchase data, which obviously is profitable for the company, but they also would subscribe the user to other applications they never signed up for, costing them money. And it's really sad because the African market is, a low income market. So they're spending a lot of money on their phones and they're spending a lot of money on their data monthly, and they're just getting ripped off by this Chinese company. And so he goes in to talk about a young man who would get various pop-ups on his smartphone, and he would like find paid subscriptions on his phone constantly. So yeah, so his phone was infected with X-Helper and Tridia malware, and it's such an interesting thing that these people think that they can get away with this. So these phones were were found in South Africa, Ethiopia, Cameroon, Egypt, Ghana, and Myanmar. And as you can see with all these countries that I named, they are all low GDP countries, so they can't even afford for this to be happening to them. So let's see what it says here. It's the latest example of how cheap Chinese smartphones take advantage of the world's poorest people. Current security concerns about Chinese apps and hardware have largely focused on potential backdoors of Huawei's 5G equipment. So yeah, it just shows you have to be careful. The cheapest, of course, living on the continent of Africa, you'd want to get the best deal for your buck. But at the same time, you have to be careful of these no-name companies. Would you be walking around with a no-name telephone provider or no-name like a mobile phone? You have to actually be careful. So it's just really scary. And Michael Queets, I apologize for the mispronunciation if there's any there. He said essentially that he called the idea of Chinese-made phones extracting data and money from people living in poverty digital colonialism, which is true. It is. They have no disposable income, and you're leaving these people in this cycle of having to waste their own money. And here you have some photos. This story is very interesting. I wanted to look a little bit further into who they are. So they're actually owned by Transition, which is the parent company, but their actual goal is to be one of the leading mobile brands in Africa and South Asia. Let's go back. And yeah, so their lead company, their parent company is Transition, yeah, Holdings, and they are a Chinese mobile phone manufacturer based in Hong Kong, established in 2006. So you have to be careful because they appear to be wolves in sheep's clothing, acting like they're trying to provide a service for Africa while they are robbing people blind. And I don't know why there's not laws put in place to protect citizens, like consumer laws, privacy laws, and it's just unfortunate. So the owner of the company, let's see, George Zhao, yeah. So he was listed again among China's under 30s businessmen in Forbes. So yeah, he's a young man, but as you can see, their company is fraudulent and it's not a good company to buy your phones for. So if you want to share this video to and let people know what's going on, I'm glad it was finally uncovered and that now we can use this information that we know accordingly and warn people about Tecno Mobile.